British-born IT professional George Kang, who's lived in Singapore for the last 18 years, says most locals aren't brash and insensitive towards foreigners. However, the 47-year-old remembered one incident when he was picked on for being non-Singaporean.
One I can remember very, very clear was in a car park. We were fighting for a car parking space. Okay, two cars coming in, we all coming in. He refused to give way. I was there first, so I opened the door and said, look, I was here first. And because they hear my accent, so the first thing that comes to me is the personal attack on your accent and your origins, right? You foreigners, why don't you go back home if you want a car parking space? I mean, it's minor infractions, but it just shows sometimes people don't think when they make comments like that. And it's quite hurtful, actually. At that point, I thought, well, actually, I am working here, contributing to society. Right? I shouldn't be treated, or be subject to that type of comments, really.
And in that instance, how did you react when he?
Well, two ways, right? Either you escalate it, or you say, okay, fair enough, walk away. There's no point in making it any worse than it is.
So you gave him the parking?
Yeah, there's no point in arguing over a small thing like that. Yeah. Be gracious, I would say.
One such instance was that in the past, just in the school, like we were having a class and we actually need to have a group work, and as in while we are getting into groups, and our tutor was saying foreigners should work with Singaporeans to get different perspectives. So then I heard someone actually saying very low voice, actually saying, "I don't want to work with foreigners." You heard of that, but really rather rare, I would say.
Would you say then that they are more against the immigration policy rather than the people, or both?
In a sense, you can say they are against the policy, but I don't know if they think about it in the policy sense. For me, the lot of Singaporeans I speak to, when they complain about it, they complain about something that is very tangible in their life right now. Their neighbor is making a lot of noise, and so happens that person is a foreigner, then that is the thing that triggers this anti-foreigner sentiment for them. Or they're having trouble getting into a train, it's just too crowded, and they see so many foreigners in there, that triggers it for them. So I don't know if they're thinking at a policy level, but ultimately I guess they do make a link.
While Singaporeans live cheek by jowl with foreigners in relative peace, high-profile accidents involving foreigners tend to spark their outrage. Examples include the late Ma Chi, whose recklessness while driving a Ferrari caused the loss of 3 lives, and the SBS bus driver who knocked down a woman at a pedestrian crossing and dragged her body under the bus for about 30 meters without realizing.
I think those high-profile cases are really the trigger of their existing sentiments against foreigners that allows them to start to express those comments against foreigners and sentiments against foreigners. It has came to the point that whenever there's something happen, then I would instantly think that I hope that it's not by a foreigner. Or I was very conscious for a period about my behaviors. After you reading comments about foreigners talking very loud in public transport, and foreigners actually speak very loud and with accent, as in sometimes they say a funny accent. So I tend to keep quiet. For a period of time, I tend to keep quiet, even with friends, on public transport, in public premises. I make a point just to follow the rules and to keep an image actually for the foreigners.
The fact that they are foreigners actually take the focus away from the real accident or tragedy that really happened, and it could have been anybody. The fact that it is a high-profile case and it's an overseas person, I think, really now you're actually highlighting the fact that it's a foreigner coming in, they're causing more problems. Whereas what we should be focusing on really the tragedy that happens. The taxi driver lost his life and the family is left behind. We tend not to focus on that as much as it's a foreigner driving a fancy car.
Well, I guess my main takeaway from what I've just heard is that you cannot stereotype or you cannot generalize any group. There are well-behaved foreigners, there are ugly foreigners. There are well-behaved Singaporeans, there are ugly Singaporeans. And so you can't say, oh, this comment means Singaporeans are xenophobic, or Machi means all foreigners are irresponsible.
Up next, we find out what it's like for foreigners to integrate and immerse themselves in local culture.